Hey, today I'll tell you how to train around an injury or pain. First, I want to mention that in this video, I won't talk about how to push through the pain. If an exercise hurts you, you shouldn't ignore that pain, thinking that it will just resolve on its own. It won't. That's how serious injuries actually happen. You usually don't just get snapped up one day. It's usually something that accumulates through days and weeks and months of training. If you train wrong, that is. But you shouldn't do the opposite of this either. Just because something hurts you, you shouldn't abandon it immediately. You should look for ways to work around that pain, because there are a lot of ways to work around pain. For example, if you found out that going heavy on a bench press is hurting your shoulders, you could do a number of things. You can try to use a lighter load, but do more reps and still be in the hypertrophy zone. You could slow down the tempo. That's a very good cue for both bench press and squats. You shouldn't go super fast on these movements. There's not really a point in doing that. You can do a slight pause at the bottom of a rep. Play around with your grip. I did make a specific video about bench press and shoulder pain though. Another thing that can help, and by the way, this is not only just for bench, you can apply this to multiple movements. You can try to do the same type of movement, but just a different exercise. For example, you can take a few weeks off from normal flat barbell bench press and do some incline bench press or some dumbbell bench press. It's good to have multiple exercises that kind of do the same thing because that will help you not get injured. But those things only really work if you know where the pain is coming from. If you don't know where the pain is coming from, but you just woke up with your shoulders hurting, but the workout felt good, it will be a little bit more difficult to know what you need to do. That's why you shouldn't add a lot of exercises to your routine all at once. Because if something starts to hurt you, you won't know where the pain is coming from. Because you have like 5 different exercises to choose from. So whenever you add a new exercise to your routine or you replace an exercise, just do that, add only one, and see how you respond to it. Shoulder pain could also come from an imbalance in your upper back. So make sure that your pulling muscles are at least as strong as your pushing muscles. Now again, if your lower back hurts, again that could be from a lot of different exercises. It could be from a leg press, it could be from an overhead press, even a bench press if you are too hard. But in most cases it's because of poor deadlift technique. And most people who feel lower back pain know they feel it from the deadlift, usually immediately after the set finishes. And the simple answer to solving this is to either stop deadlifting or fix your form. Or you could do the other things that I talked about before with the bench press, switching up the exercise, doing higher reps and stuff like that. But most of the time, lower back pain comes from ego lifting on the deadlift. So lighten the load and stop arching your back. Now if your elbow hurts, you might have too much pressing volume. Or again, you're going too heavy too often. You can see that there is a theme here. Doing exercises too often, going too heavy, and having poor technique. Those are the main reasons for pain. The thing that you can do to combat elbow pain is to stop locking out. That doesn't mean to do partial reps. Just do not lock out at the top, because there's really no point in doing so. Some people like doing it, but if it hurts, then stop doing it. You won't get any less hypertrophy. And by the way, you can apply this to knee flexions as well. If your knee hurts, it might be a good idea to not lock out at the top. But the worst thing that you can do is to just ignore that pain and push through it, because that's how you'll get injured really bad. But the second worst thing that you can do is to not train at all. You should always try to train even if you're injured, but try to work around that pain. If you got something like a golfer's elbow, that doesn't mean that you should stop training triceps altogether. You can do some banded tricep pushdowns and you'll see that it doesn't hurt as bad as doing a regular pushdown. Of course, the pain might not be completely zero, but it will make it a little bit more tolerable. But in general, if you get injured, you should still stay active. You can do some body weight exercises just to get some blood into the muscles or some band work, like I said before. Because if you don't do anything and you just stay at home, you'll recover even slower and you'll lose even more muscle in the process. So try to do as much as you can. If you hurt your knee and you can only walk, walk. If you can only do squats with an empty bar, do squats with an empty bar. And you can slowly build up to where you were. So try to do as much as possible with as little discomfort as possible. But after you recover from your injury, you should strengthen that area to not get injured again. You should look at the root cause of what caused that injury and don't repeat the same mistake again.